Welcome to an episode of Sold! Exclamation point. Since yesterday's video, we've had a very quiet time. Only about $100 worth of sales. Normally I might skip today, but a couple of things I sold are kind of a good topics to talk about. One in particular that hopefully it will help buyers, not just sellers. Let's get into it, and then I'll end with some tips for buyers. First off, I don't want to bury the best item. Now, I got a lot of these. I put them in a multiple listing or a variation listing. They were all pretty much brand new. They didn't have tags or anything, but it was obvious they haven't been worn. These are called painter caps. So they have a plastic brim and a flat top, and they usually have an elastic in the back to make them one size fit all. You're not going to see a lot of people buying these to wear. However, some will at the game if you really want to stand out. Some people like to use these as pinback caps. So they'll have these and all their Buccaneer pins they'll put in the hat, and they'll use it as a display item. So maybe have it like that. It would look really cool in a frame too. So if the hat got framed like this, and you put all of your pins, all your Buccaneer pins, that would be a pretty cool framed item. 22 for this. I've sold these between 20 shipped to 40 shipped. It really depends on team selection. Some teams have a bunch of them for sale and some teams don't. So you do your research, and the ones where there's not any for sale, you price up, and the ones where there's a lot for sale, you price down or you price to market. Couple lots of the Smoky collection. First up, we got Chris Duncan. So we got Chris Duncan. Some Yahoo article. I sold one in a previous video that I showed you. A Yahoo article came out, and articles all over the place. Chris Duncan was a member of the 2006 World Series team, and he is battling brain cancer, and so there's been a lot of press, and because of that press, it's not shocking that I made a couple of sales. I still have one or two of his minor league cards for sale, 8 for that. This is a lesson on if you get a lot of many different items, some that you think, there's no market for, list everything. Sometimes you got to make a decision because it's so low price, it's not worth your time. But with the Smoky collection, there were a lot of players that I had never even heard of. Now, baseball is my favorite sport. I'm very knowledgeable about even very, very small players. During the time that the Smoky collection covers, and I was seeing players I have never seen their name before, and I list them anyways. Most of my sales are from those very, very low end players, and this is a good example of that. We got a 3-card lot, all Kansas City Royals. We got Curtis Wilkerson, who I vaguely remember, Angel Sanchez, who I remember just from Boston Packs, and Donnie Sadler. These are 3 very low-end players, but I wanted, for some reason, I'd be very curious. I said he was born in Virginia. Yeah. I thought one's Puerto Rican, so I was wondering if maybe all 3 of them were from the same country, like yesterday's Venezuelan purchase. Next up, I have a very nice, I believe it's 60s, I can't remember the exact year. I don't want to waste too much time looking for it. 60s, Denver Buffalo program. The person had wrote the score up here. A little rough on the edges, but overall good condition, no heavy creases. What's really cool about this item is this little sticker in the back. Now, normally if you would get this randomly, you wouldn't know what the sticker's for. But I got a large lot of items that were used for a book. So a author had written a history book about all the NFL teams, and my client had purchased some of their archives, some of the materials they use for photos in the book. So this program's actually in one of their books they made, I believe, about the Bills, not about the Broncos. So that's kind of cool that this exact item has been published. I didn't really play that up. I explained why the sticker was there in the listing, but I don't think it adds a whole lot. I think it's one of those things where I'm not going to buy it because of that, but if I know that, it's cool to know, and it's something I could say, oh yeah, it's in a book somewhere. 2 more Sports Illustrated sold. 30 for the program. 2 more Sports Illustrated sold. 13 shipped. If you look online for these with mailing addresses, you're going to see dozens or hundreds for sale. Some sellers have 50, 60 copies, all selling for $2 a piece, maybe 3. So no labels, good condition. You're gonna get, what am I getting? $6.50 a piece for them. So keep that in mind. Those sold for 13. Smoky Collection, Bucks, SI, Buffalo. Okay. Last item. Now this item's gonna lead into a tip section for you buyers out there. Nothing really about the item. So I got this item. I got 2 of them. It's just Minnesota Gophers went to the Music City Bowl, and they played some team that wasn't the Gophers. And so somebody bought one of them, and then I got an offer for the second one. Now, I was selling these for $9.99 plus shipping, and I took a $7 offer for this and 11 shipped. I get an offer for $3, and I just decline it. Then I get another offer for $3.50, and there's a message that says, "Come on, man, I'm not gonna pay $10 for this nothing item." I decline it. And then he gives me another offer for $3.75 or something like that. And he's going on about how I'm being unreasonable. At this point, I don't want this person as a customer. If he made a $9.98 offer, I'm going to decline it because he's already angry with me. Why would I sell something to somebody who's angry with me? It's just going to invite problems down the line. So I was thinking about a few things, because my first inclination was, okay, I get this message, and the first thing I think is this message really helping you get a better price for this item? Or are you just pissing off the seller? Now, a little follow-up, when I declined that third one, he sent me a message just calling me a moron. Moron, period. That was the entire message. I already know I'm a moron, so, but, you know, I don't care. Yeah. Again, I don't know how that's going to help me discount my item for you. So I thought of a few things that I received from customers trying to get a better price. First one is the message that says, "Your price is too high. How dare you charge this much for that?" Or really focusing on it being used. Now, 90% of my items are pre-owned. I will not pay X for a used item. I will only pay up to $15 for a used. Well, I've sold stuff that's used, you know, sweatshirts, for hundreds of dollars that were used. I mean, that doesn't. You have a personal policy, and that's fine, but that doesn't impact my price. You're not selling me. When you're trying to get a discount, now you're selling the seller. I'm not selling you anymore. You're selling me. And telling me that you have a price limit might work if I have something for 20, you offer me 16 and go, it's the most I can go. That's okay. But if you're if you're bidding on a $75 sweatshirt and you offer me $10 and you say, "Oh, my personal limit's just $10. I could possibly pay a penny more for a used, all capital letters, used sweatshirt," as if I didn't know it was used in the first place. Um, I would shy away from that. Next is the real aggressive behavior, like um, usually it involves name calling or tearing down the item. But you see this in fantasy baseball when people are trying to propose a trade to you. They'll say, "Hey, I'm kind of interested in Bryce Harper. He's hitting 260 for the week. He's trash, and I think he's going to completely bomb. And I don't think he has any long-term value in baseball. And I'm pretty sure he's going to slump the rest of the year. Anyways, I want to offer this trade for Bryce Harper." It doesn't work in fantasy. It doesn't work when you're trying to get a better price. Telling me that my item is junky and horrible and nobody would want it, and then follow that up with, I want to offer you $10. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why people do it. They do it a lot, and all you're doing is just making me look at it and go, "Nah, I'm not interested in this buyer." Next one is starting too low. I'll save that for later. Starting too low. If I have let's take a lower end item. I have a shirt for $30, and you offer me 8. And let's say I'll take 20 for it. Let's say the lowest I'll go is 20. You offer 8. Now you get 5 offers on eBay, 5, and you offer 8, then 11, then 13, then 13.50, and somehow on the last offer you hit 20. I'm still not going to sell that to you. You've annoyed me with 5 offers. I'm going to make sure you pay at least 21. I'm going to hold out and be like, I'm not going to give it to you for the low because now the cost of my item just went up. Had you offered me 20 from the jump, I would have been like, boom, let's do it, let's go. Made a sale, let's be happy. If you would have offered 18, then 20, I would have took it. But that slow creep when usually it's on low-priced items. It'll be a $9.99 magazine that I'd take half off for. Because what I'm really trying to do is negotiate multiple item deals. And it'll be $1, and then $2, and $3, $4, and then they hit 5, and I'm like, no, I don't care about this item that much. If it never sells, it doesn't impact me. I'm a higher volume seller, and that leads me into the last one is, I've noticed your item has been listed for a while, so here's the terrible offer. That I suppose that could work depending on the seller. If you're looking at a seller who has a small number of items, who needs the money from that sale, to fix their car or to buy more items to sell because they're just starting out, maybe that could entice them. But if you look at my account, I have 5,500 listings. I have 25,000 items. There's not a single item that I have to sell. Every item, if it's still with me 3 years from now, it doesn't change my business one way or another. As long as my sell-through rate stays the same, as long as my sales are steady, that one item's not going to make or break me. And that goes into how long I'm willing to sit on something. I usually will sit on something for a year before I really am willing to lower my floor or change the price. I've had full price sales 2, 3, 4 years after the fact. I'm just not that kind of seller. So in that stance, telling me that, hey man, I've been looking at this for 3 months. It's been on there a long time. I don't think anyone's ever going to buy it. Here's my bad offer. I don't think it's very effective. What should you do? You should do 2 things. You want to make your first offer high enough to make me not want to take it, but be worried that if I made a counter, I would lose the sale. That's what you want to do. I have been in that many times, and people have gotten very good deals from me. When I'm looking at it, it's not an unfair offer, but it's not really what I want to get for the item. But maybe it's a day like today. Like a day like today, I might be willing to wheel and deal a little more because sales are a little low. I'm going to look at that and go, I'm willing to take it, but I don't want to take it. But, and then you hit accept and you made the sale, you're happy, and the customer is happy. That's what you want to do. Now that's an art. You got to figure out what is an amount that a seller would take that he doesn't really want to take, but doesn't want to lose the sale by making a counter offer. And that's number one. The second, in terms of messages, in the end, the dollar amount is what matters. I have been swayed not to go under my low, but to sell at my low right away because somebody shows appreciation for the item they want. Man, I've been looking for this for 20 years. Or as simple as, thank you for considering my offer. They're polite. That's cool. Then they're generally polite in other aspects. They'll probably give me good feedback. They probably won't be a problem buyer. I remember I sent one out. It was a hat I really wanted. It was $75, and I'm not a $75 hat buying kind of guy. So I offered $45, and I told the seller, I said, I know this hat's worth $75, and I know in the next year it should sell. This is what I can offer you right now with my budget. I thank you for considering. And he came back and he said, oh, the lowest I could take is 60. And I said, hey, I can't do that right now, but I appreciate it. We stopped, and a week later he says, I can take 45 now. I stayed in his head. He thought about it. He thought, okay, 45 will work for me. He sent me a message. And sadly, I just bought 2 other hats that day, so I couldn't even do it. But that price, that $45, well, he turned it down right away, but that $45 was a price that he didn't want to take, but he was willing to take. So I found that amount. So hopefully that helps. I know my videos are focused on sellers and finding items and how to price, but I wanted to help for when you're making offers on eBay. And I'm very curious to see if anybody agrees or disagrees with me. There's a wide range of opinions. One opinion is you have to go super low because you never know. Maybe. So I'll leave you with that, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.